Francisco. Let's talk about a Mariner roster move, and they've added a component that they've not had since last year when we saw him. James Jones called up from Tacoma.
I think that they're going to have some speed. You can see Jones called up. Danny Farquhar sent back to Tacoma, optioned out. And so James Jones, although not in the lineup today, he is on the bench. We saw him take batting practice. But an element of speed for this club and maybe some excitement for them to help them out, maybe manufacturing a few more runs.
Jonesy hit about 264 at Tacoma, and Lloyd McClendon said his hands are in a better position. And right now, he's slated. He thinks he can add some power to that speed component as well.
Well, and James has a better idea, too. He knows that speed is the biggest part of his game, and he's talked about that you don't necessarily have to barrel the ball up to get to first base. Right. He will bunt, and he'll try to hit the ball the other way on the ground.
Let's talk about the Giants, the defending world champions. 3 times in the last 5 years they've been the world champions. They're struggling mightily scoring runs, but they've only lost 3 games to the Dodgers when this bad run started a few weeks ago.
It's an interesting club, though. They're really balanced. I think if you look at them overall in ERA, they're 6th in the National League, 5th in fielding, 1st in hitting. So to me, I think that when you look at that, a typical Bruce Bochy club, they're going to pitch well, they're going to catch it, and try to manufacture some runs.
Interleague play, how do you see this working? For the Mariners, are guys who don't hit, the pitchers who don't hit.
Well, I think that get your bunts down. That's the biggest thing. I think anything else is just a bonus, but I think that's what Lloyd is going to ask of them to do, to get your bunts down. And then, of course, I think the element of Jones on the bench could certainly help them. Tough to score runs in this ballpark, so late in the game, you have James Jones waiting on the bench if you need to manufacture a run.
That's one of the things Lloyd talked about, the fact that you know he's going to run, but he's still that good that he can get it. San Francisco, 13th largest city in America. Just absolutely beautiful. What a scenic we have here today at AT Park. We're going to continue with our pregame show as the Mariners get ready to face the Giants in the first of 2 here by the Bay right after this. here in San Francisco. And tonight the Mariners are here for the first of two against the defending world champions as we welcome you to Mariner baseball on a cloudy evening here in San Francisco. Take a look at our pitching matchup. Taijuan Walker has really looked good the last three starts. He goes against the veteran Tim Hudson.
For Taijuan Walker tonight, you mentioned it, he has been pitching well. Over his last three games, 2-1 with a 1.64 ERA. And for Taijuan, he's also used his fastball a lot, which is what they've wanted. You can see what he's done in the month of June at 2.57 ERA. His fastball, he's going to be about 70% fastballs. It's the way Rick waits. Lloyd McClellan, they want him to be aggressive with it. I was just watching him in the bullpen. He looked as if he was throwing free and easy. Fastball velocity, typically 94 or better. He can top out at 97, 98 at times. He'll also mix in his changeup. There will be 6 left-handers in the lineup against him. He likes his changeup against the lefties, occasional curveball and cutter for Taijuan Walker.
39-year-old Tim Hudson. Boy, he seems ageless. 13-6 and 24 starts against the Mariners over the course of his long career.
A little bit different look than Taijuan Walker. His fastball is going to be about 88 miles an hour. He'll also mix in his change, curveball, slider, and a splitter. So he has a variety of pitches. 145 ground ball outs this year for Hudson. That is number 1 in the National League, number 2 overall of baseball. So he's going to try to keep it on the ground and sink it. Interesting, though, on his fastball this year, opponents hitting .327 against his fastball. So I think the Mariners are going to try to be aggressive with him early in the count. He will not give in to the hitters. He'll throw a breaking ball or a split at any moment. And the Mariners, I'm sure in their scouting report, have seen that on Hudson.
Hudson began his career with the Oakland Athletics back in 1999. He's been with Atlanta and now in his second year with the Giants. Hey, ride with us. Cable car. Why not? You're in San Francisco. Gotta love it. Good-looking day here. And hopefully the Mariners can get things going here tonight. They're 3-3 on this road trip and looking for another win here tonight. First pitch is straight ahead. Well, it's been called possibly the most beautiful and certainly the most photographed bridge in the world, the Golden Gate Bridge, and that certainly symbolizes the great city of San Francisco, California, as we welcome you to Mariner baseball as we come to you from AT Park, home of the defending world champion San Francisco Giants. Dave Sims and Mike Flowers and the Root Sports crew on hand here. Good pitching matchup with Taijuan Walker going against the veteran Tim Hudson. Let's take a look at the Mariner batting order that will face Huddy.
Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Chevron. Leading off, it will be Logan Morrison, Austin Jackson hitting second. Then it's Cano, Cruz, and Seager in the middle of the lineup. Seth Smith on the road trip hitting .278 with 3 doubles. Been one of the hot hitters for the Mariners. He will bat 6. Miller, Zunino, and yes, the pitcher Taijuan Walker round out the 9 for the Mariners.
Well, here we go. First pitch from Tim Hudson. Down low to Logan Morrison. It's 3 for 20 career against Hudson. Clouds moving in, 58 degrees here in San Francisco. Boy, it was windy on the field during BP. It's blowing out to right center right now.
Watching it from the start of batting practice, and you see the flags blowing out to right center field. It seems that every half hour it'll switch around on you, so the outfielders are going to have their work cut out for them. They might have to keep an eye on the flags as the game moves on.
2-0 to Lomo. Well stroked, base hit, right field.
And for Tim Hudson on the year, 4-5 record, a 4.60 ERA, only 37 strikeouts and 74 in the third. But doesn't walk many batters, 18 walks, 284 average against him. He's given up 9 home runs this year. Again, a variety of pitches for him. He throws them all: the fastball, slider, curveball, splitter. Fastball about 88 miles an hour.
Here's Austin Jackson, the Mariners center fielder. Mariners 3-3 on this road trip, 2-1 at Cleveland, 1-2 in Houston. Meanwhile, the Giants struggling. They've lost 4 consecutive games and have an 8-game home losing streak in progress. Posey sets up inside. Back up the middle. Base hit for Austin Jackson. First 2 men have reached via base hits here for Seattle.
Another base hit on the fastball from Hudson. Again, the league hitting .327 against Hudson on his fastball. We'll take a look at our American Family Insurance defensive setup. Aoki is in left field, Pagan in center, Parker out in right, Duffy the third baseman, Crawford and Panic playing up the middle, Brandon Belt at first base, and Buster Posey doing the catching. As you might guess, with all the ground ball outs for Hudson this year, 13 double play balls. That's the most in the National League when Hudson's on the mound.
Here's Cano, 0 for 6 career against Hudson. Breaking ball, first strike. Home plate umpire is James Hoy. John Hirschbeck at first, Bill Welke at second, and John Tumpane at third. Cano's batting average down to .237, looking for the big turnaround. Which runs away for a ball.
Take a look at our EQC tracer. The last fastball just off the plate away.
In the last 15 games, Mike, we've seen the Mariners struggle. They are 4-11. The Giants are 5-10 during the same time.
2 struggling ball clubs, and runs are going to be at a premium in this ballpark, averaging 6.3 runs combined a game. That is
center
the lowest.
Field and deep. Pagan there. Morrison tags. That a good sign there? I mean, watching him, Cano barrel that one up, and a couple others we've seen recently.
We are at that point with him. I think you just have to see how many times he barrels it up in an evening. He hit that ball well, and again, the wind's going to swirl here. He's able to hit the fly ball all the way out to the warning track on a fastball. Good fastball from Hudson. That one at 90 miles an hour.
Are you surprised Hudson is still throwing that hard at this stage? He's 39 years old, going to be 40 in a month or two.
That's amazing, isn't it? He obviously used to throw harder, but again, his average fastball is at 88. That one was one of his better ones.
Well, here's Nelson Cruz. Having a very fine year. Not surprised to see Hudson try to stay away from him as much as possible.
Well, when we show you the tracer this evening with Hudson on the mound, you're going to see that the majority of the pitches at the bottom of the strike zone or below it. Again, he's really good at trying to keep the ball on the ground.
Cruz 3 for 13 on the road trip. Hit the other way, right to the second baseman. Panic, and they turn. Oh, a run scores as Cruz busting it down the line. Panic to Crawford to Belt, but because of Cruz's hustle and a nice work going into second base, Austin Jackson, the Mariners have a 1-0 lead.
Well, you're right, and the other part about it is Cruz hits this ball hard. It's on the ground, but it almost handcuffs Panic. He gets too far away, and you can see Crawford's flying across, get as much on the throw as he can. But Cruz, for the big man, we've talked about it, he runs well. The key to it is hustling right out of the box. The Mariners will take an early lead.
Absolutely. 2 down, a run in. Marson appreciates the effort and knows that his run counts. Brings up Kyle Seager. If you're a young kid like Kyle Seager, now you're going to see a veteran here. I mean, you've been through those before.
Of course, and I'm sure that Kyle's also watched a lot of tape, and he's probably going to see 2 seam fastballs away from him. Good play by Buster Posey, the catcher, to keep that in front of him. And Kyle aware of that. Take a look at the shift that the Giants will put on with Seager's hitting. It's interesting watching batting practice. We were talking about the wind blowing out to right. Kyle was able to hit a ball out into the bay out there into the cove.
See if he can get one during the regular ball game here. Hit one out in McCovey Cove. 2-0. Here's the 2-0. Strike one. Hudson's got a career mark of 218 wins, 129 losses, 3.48 career ERA. 8 years in Atlanta, 113-72, went 92-39 in Oakland. 2-1. Fouled off. From Columbus, Georgia, lives in Auburn, Alabama. Where he played his college ball. It's Bruce Bochy. In his 9th year as Giants skipper, 3 world championships: 2010, 2012, 2014. Count remains 2-2 for Kyle. Chris Woodward coaching at third base tonight, and Andy Van Slyke at first. Rich Dunley under the weather. 2-2. First of 4 with the Giants tonight, tomorrow afternoon. And then Wednesday and Thursday back in Seattle. And a marquee matchup Wednesday. Lloyd McClendon's going to send Felix Hernandez, looking to rebound off his worst start ever, going against World Series MVP Madison Bumgarner. Just dig over there by Belt. Two games in Seattle will be Wednesday night and Thursday night, 7:10 start time.
And you can see this season 145 ground ball outs to just 51 flyouts. That is the best in the National League.
2-2. Just outside. Full count. Seth Smith on deck. 8th pitch coming up for Kyle Seager. Mariners with a 1-0 lead, 2 outs. Cruz at first. He'll be on the move. Hudson ready. And fouled off. Seager's fouled off 4 pitches here. Helping run up the pitch count for Tim Hudson.
It's interesting again that they put the shift on, but then Hudson running a lot of the 2-seamers off the outside corner, and Kyle trying to hit it that way.
Pulls it foul.
A little more middle away, but this will be the 10th pitch of the at bat coming up.
Texas has a 4-0 lead at home against the Dodgers. Houston 6-3 lead at home against Colorado. It's in the bottom of the 7th. Angels and Arizona, no score after an inning and a half. Oakland just underway at San Diego. So Hudson comes set. We'll do it again here at 3-2. Hit hard, but right at the first baseman belt. Mariners come away with a run on 2 hits and leave a man. Have a 1-0 lead as Taijuan Walker gets ready to face the defending world champion Giants. Well, here at San Francisco, no computer-generated images. Those are real folks in mascot costumes racing, much to the delight of the fans here at AT Park, especially when somebody goes splashdown. Let's take a look at the Giant batting order against Taijuan Walker.
For manager Bruce Bochy leading off, it will be Aoki. Then it's panic hitting second. Pagan, the number 3 hitter. Posey, Belt, and Crawford in the middle of the lineup. Duffy, Parker, and the pitcher Tim Hudson will bat 9th for the Giants this evening. Taijuan Walker, 3-6 record, a 5.40 ERA, 60 strikeouts over the 65 innings that he has worked. Opponent's hitting .275. He's pitched much better than those numbers as of late. In his last 3 outings, he's 2-1 with a 1.64 ERA.
It's Nori Aoki. So first pitch strike. I think Taijuan's trusting his stuff a lot more as we move along here.
I think so. And I think the reason why I say that is one of the things that we've constantly heard when we've talked to Rick Waits or Lloyd is they wanted to use his fastball and pitch inside. In his last outing, he didn't have his good fastball. He was more 93, 92 to 94, 93 miles an hour, but he still was able to pitch inside. And in the past, when he hasn't had that, he's abandoned that and wanted to throw more curveballs. As you take a look at what he did against the Indians, he did give up 8 hits in 6 innings, but just 1 earned run.
And that was the game where he went 0-10 runners in scoring position.
Correct. Getting more ground ball outs. Had a couple double plays, I believe, that helped him out in that outing. So I think he's starting to.
There's Joe Panik. So vital to this ball club last year during the postseason. 1-1.
For Taijuan this year, averaging just a little bit over 94 miles an hour with his fastball. He will throw that if he's right and doing what they want him to do it close to 70% of the time. So it'll be between 65%, 70% fastballs. Off-speed pitch that he likes to use the most is his changeup.
Jackson cuts it off, and quickly 2 outs.
Take a look at the American Family Insurance defensive alignment for the Mariners. Smith getting the start in left field, as you just saw. Jackson in center. Nelson Cruz out in right. Seager is at third base. Miller and Cano playing up the middle. Logan Morrison is the first baseman, and Mike Zunino doing the catching tonight.
Quick 2 outs for Taiwan. And he gets Angel Pagan now, switch hitter. 238 hitter left-handed, 361 right-handed. Taiwan wants to keep Pagan on the bad long stretch of road he's on. 0 for his last 17. Of course, it breaks it right there as it gets over the outstretched glove of Miller. First base hit here for San Francisco. Brings up Buster Posey.
Going to get a fastball, trying to get it in on his hands. Not a bad location, more middle in though. I think it jammed him just a little bit. Soft line drive over the head of Miller at shortstop. You can see Brad elevate trying to get to it.
Buster Posey. He's got 3 rings with the Giants.
The thing with the Giants, they're pretty solid in the middle of their lineup. You have Posey. Another soft line drive.
Yes, over Brad's glove. Pagan first to third. 2 outs. Giants threaten here in the first.
This looks like the changeup. Changeup on the outside corner, and he's going to hit it right off the end of the bat. You look at the Giants in the middle of their lineup. You have Posey, 294, 9 home runs, 36 RBIs. Belt, who's coming to the plate, 290 with 8 home runs, 28 RBIs. And Brandon Crawford, the shortstop, 282, but 9 homers and 40 RBIs.
He's been terrific. Really good. Brandon Belt, first baseman. Ball 1 to Belt.
Giants have done a good job hitting with runners in scoring position this year. 273 batting average for them as a team. Lead the National League in hitting at a 270 clip coming into this game.
They get on base too. 330. Second in the National League. Strike to Belt, 1-1. Average close to 42,000 a game here at AT Park.
You can see that last fastball, the best fastball from Taiwan at 95 miles an hour. It's turning it up a little bit now that he's in some trouble.
He's got Belt 1 and 2. Taiwan on the season, 60 strikeouts and 26 walks. Under Clinton's ball club in 12 previous starts. 1-2. Got him. Gives up back-to-back singles and then comes back with a very important strikeout of Brandon Belt. Mariners 1-0 lead. Mariners. Hey, Wednesday, 7:10. Find yourself in the King's Court for a can't-miss pitching duel. King versus their ace, as Felix and the Mariners are scheduled to take on the Giants and last year's World Series MVP, Madison Bumgarner. Get your $40 King's Court tickets right now at Mariners.com/Felix. Great ballpark here. Even on a cloudy night, the clouds moving in. This is a beautiful ballpark. This Felix looking for the big rebound after Friday getting pummeled down in Houston. Seth Smith leads it off here in the second. He's 4 for 21 career against Tim Hudson. As you look at Madison Bumgarner, World Series MVP, and a good hitter too. That won't be in effect though in Seattle. Seth Smith past the diving Joe Panic. So the Mariners with 3 hits already against Hudson.
And again, it's on his fastball. He'll change speeds on his fastball. This one just 87 miles an hour, trying to sink it a little bit more. He was able to get it down to the bottom of the strike zone, but it was in the middle of the plate as Seth was able to barrel it up and hit it hard into right field.
Brings up Brad Miller. Brad 4 for 16 on the road trip. Strike one. Mariners looking to get cranking. Been saying that a lot. At some point you hope that that light's going to get on and stay on. Last in batting average and last in runs. They are 5th in home runs. The other thing too that's interesting about the fact that they are struggling, there's not been any, I haven't seen it, any panic at all. No, I wouldn't say distress. I mean concern, but certainly nobody getting uptight.
No, typically if you're going to see that, it'll be right after the game. As you see this ball, and see if they can turn 2, and they are able to. Good play by Hudson to get over and cover at first. I don't think there's been that, but we've seen some frustration at times, either towards the end of the game or maybe right after, but they quickly put it away. And I'm sure they're happy to be out of Houston and get this series started here in San Francisco.
3-6-1 double play.
The other part about it too, Dave, is with all the expectations and them having, more importantly, their own expectations of this year, they understand they're going to have to swing the bats better.
Yep. Mike Zunino trying to break an 0 for 11. Looks at ball 1. But, certainly Cano, his struggles, everybody is well aware of what's happening with him. But got to believe he's going to come out. Bouncing ball charged by the third baseman Duffy. And a bad throw. An E5, and Zunino's aboard with 2 outs.
Well, that's a break for the Mariners. Take a look at it. Plenty of time to throw across the diamond. He throws a little sinker. And Brandon Belt, the first baseman, pretty good at picking the ball up, but not able to handle that one. And so now you get a base runner, but more importantly, you'll be able to turn the lineup over. Taijuan Walker, having to hit 9th, is going to get a chance to hit here in this inning as opposed to maybe leading off next inning.
There you go. 6th error for Duffy. I was talking to Bruce Bochy before the game, and they got swept by Arizona, and they lost the final game in New York to the Mets. He's looking for some clean baseball. Has not been pretty. Fly ball dropped out in center field. A lot of plays not being made.
We're saying the same thing about the Mariners, and although it's been better, it's not as consistent as what we were able to see from them last year.
On 2 to Taijuan. Taijuan was so psyched Friday night in Houston. Did get one out of that ballpark, but it's a different deal here against Tim Hudson. 1, 2, 3, he goes. No runs, a hit, and they're in a man left. Mariners lead at 1-0. All right, Angie, thank you very much. Brendan Crawford going to lead it off for the Giants. Mariners lead it 1-0. Crawford 282, 9 homers and 40 runs batted in. One. Part of the struggle for the Giants. Crawford hitting just .211 over his last 10 contests. Yet for all the Giants' struggles, they're only behind the LA Dodgers by 3.5 games. They're playing on a hop out there. Nelson Cruz. Base hit. We will join you tomorrow at noon from here in San Francisco. Jay Happ, familiar face, local kid Tim Lincecum got knocked out of his last game in New York last week. He's got a 6-3 record. Opponents hitting .237 against him. Looking forward to seeing that matchup tomorrow. And hopefully Jay Happ will get John Hirschbeck. We'll have balls and strikes, and Jay will be able to get the lower end of that strike zone.
He should be able to. Hirschbeck's pretty good umpire for pitchers.
Matt Duffy, the third baseman.
That was a bit of an issue for Jay in his last outing. A lot of guys were a little bit upset that he wasn't getting the low strike.
How much of a lead for Crawford?
Giants 8th in the National League in stolen bases.
No runs, 3 hits given up by Taijuan Walker. Struck out 1. 1-1 to Duffy. Arizona's taking a 3-0 lead on the Angels now. Top of the third in Anaheim. Ball, 2 strikes. Duffy, versatile young player. Plays most of his time at third base, but he's played at second. 1 game at short, 1 game at first. Giants really miss Hunter Pence. Ball slapped into right field. Cruz will get it back in. And Matt Duffy's aboard with Brendan Crawford. Nobody out here in the second.
Take a look at it. I think this is the changeup. And it is. Changeup 88 miles an hour. Trying to throw that pitch below the strike zone. It was right at the knees. This game's starting a little bit like Taijuan's last outing. You mentioned it. Held him 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. He's already 0 for 1 against the Giants, but he's been in trouble in the first 2 innings.
Moves up right fielder Jared Parker. Recent call up, got his first major league hit yesterday. Debuted on Saturday. Called up from AAA Sacramento, taking the place of Gregor Blanco, who's out with a 7-day concussion DL.
That's a better changeup from Taijuan, able to get it to the outside corner and down. 89 miles an hour on that changeup. Probably his best changeup so far. The changeup he threw to Brandon Belt to get out of the first inning, the strikeout. Rick Waite's pitching coach.
Mariners a double play, depth up the middle. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Strike 3 called, got him. Second strikeout for Taijuan Walker. 1 out here in the second.
And again, it surprised him with this pitch. 95 miles an hour, so a better fastball up at the top of the strike zone. You can see Zunino set up high after the changeup down and away. Well, doing a good job of mixing up his 2 pitches. Now you have the pitcher hitting. Kyle Seager will play in at third for the bunt. Same with Logan Morrison at first. 24 pitches, 17 strikes so far for Walker. Hudson can handle the bat, but typically in these situations you'll have the pitcher bunt even though there is an out.
3 for 21 on the season. Hudson with 2 sacrifices so far this season. Those Astros at it again. Bottom 8 leading Colorado 6-3. George Springer. 2 homers in the game. Strike to Hudson. 1-1. Hudson, during his years at Auburn University in 1997, was a .396 hitter with 18 homers and 95 runs batted in. Wait for Cano to get to second base. Gets there in time. Hudson moves the runners up. 2 away. And runners at second and third. Don't forget, after the game, stick around for Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines. Go back to the guy we always talk about when we see Anaheim, Eric Ibar. I think was the last guy we saw do that. Show bunt and turn around and take a hack at it.
Well, I was just thinking about it, and the reason why he did that, he still had the bunt on, but Hudson, a veteran, probably has the option to try to swing away, and Logan Morrison playing at first was really charging hard. He was almost on top of him, so I think Hudson thought there's a lot of holes in the infield, may as well try, but it worked out as a bunt. A little never out towards the mound.
Here's Aoki. First saw him with Kansas City.
A good player for the Giants. Comes into the game hitting .325, a couple of home runs.
Count evens at 1-1. Pitch. 1-2. Taijuan Walker trying to get out of a 2-on situation with 2 outs. Aoki grounded out the first base in his initial at bat. This one fouled off.
Best fastball so far from Taijuan, 96 miles an hour at the top of the strike zone. I think for Mike Zunino, he has 2 options right here. Try to throw a fastball a little bit higher or go back to the changeup, which is what he's been doing, typically going back to the changeup down out of the strike zone.
On 2 strikes to Aoki. Up the middle. Cano, bare hand, yet nothing. Run scores. Infield hit. Aoki, who was with Kansas City last year, comes over to a team that vanquished the Royals. He picks up an RBI here, his 18th. Scoring on the play, Crawford. Moving to third is Duffy.
Taijuan comes back with the changeup. And Aoki, although he's not able to hit it hard, Taijuan just out of his reach. And one play only with the speed of Aoki for Cano, and that is to try to barehand. It would have been a tough play, but he didn't have the option to try to use his glove.
Foul ball off the bat of Joe Panik. A tie ball game here in the second inning. Two teams over the last 15 games have both struggled. 0-1. 0-2 to Panik. Joe flying out to left his first time. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Foul off. Out. Sixth man to the plate as you get a good look at beautiful AT Park, opened back in the year 2000. And it is a tremendous step up from the late and not lamented Candlestick Park. It's almost a pile of rubble right now. Panik strikes out. Giants get a run on 3 hits. No errors, leave 2. Got a tie ball game at 1-1. To duplicate Hall of Famer Juan Marichal as we check out our Geico This Day Baseball history. The Dominican dandy throws a 1-0 no-hitter against the Houston Colt 45s. First Giants no-no since the great Carl Hubble did it in 1929. Struck out 5, walked 2. Logan Morrison fouls one off. The only run scored is Chuck Hiller doubling home Jim Davenport in the bottom of the 8th inning. Boy, some great Giant names. There's Juan Marichal. There's a picture here in this building with all the Giant Hall of Famers. Marichal, Gaylord Perry, Cepeda, Mays, and McCovey. What a great picture that is. There's Logan Morrison, 0-1. And congratulations to the Chicago Blackhawks. They win the Stanley Cup for the 3rd time in 6 years. A 2-0 victory over Tampa Bay tonight to close out that series 4-2. Romo led off the ball game with a base hit to right. Came around and scored on the RBI fielder's choice by Cruz. We were in Cleveland last week. Surrounded by NBA excitement. Of course, it's here too, across the bay where the Warriors play. They're up 3-2. And in another year, probably in a year, let's say 2 years from now, the Warriors have a new arena. It's going to be very close to this ballpark, probably within a half mile to a mile away. Two balls and 2 strikes to Logan Morrison. Him out. Good movement on that pitch from Tim Hudson. Records his 2nd strikeout.
And we talked about it at the start of the game with Hudson. Came into the game with 145 ground balls, now up to 148, leading the National League in that category. And he's a veteran guy. He'll keep changing speeds and moving pitches in and out. The last pitch, I'm sure Logan, looking out over the plate, was able to paint the inside corner on him with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. But the one thing that'll really help him with when he gets into trouble, he's just a double play away from getting out of it. He's been the best in the National League at that this year.
Hey, well, he keeps doing that. He can pitch as long as he wants. 39, turns 40 in July. Jackson had a single to center his first time up.
Jackson has his batting average up to 272 now with that base hit.
Breaking ball popped out. Popped out of play here. 1-2.
One of the other things, Dave, that you don't really think about too much, especially when you're in mid-June, but the Mariners have really been playing in some nice weather. And when the temperatures start to drop here, especially with the amount of wind that they have, see if the hitters can handle that over the last couple, 2 or 3 innings.
1-2 pitch. Charging is Duffy. Makes a nice play. 2 away here in the third. Change your commute. Take our online trip planner for a spin at soundtransit.org. Boy, there's some recognizable symbols of San Francisco. The cable car and Ghirardelli chocolate. Here's Robinson Cano for the second time. Flight out to center. Strike on the edge. Given the clouds, given the temperature at 58, I wouldn't be true to myself if I didn't use the Mark Twain quote, even though it's unofficially summer. Coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco. Got that out of the way as Cano lines one left field, but Aoki is there. 1-2-3 go the Mariners in the third in this 1-1 ball game. Sounds good. Great cause. Get involved, folks. Angel Pagan got a 1-0 count. Make it 2-0. Pagan, Posey, and Belt 3-4-5. Toronto's 11-game win streak over, losing 11 at the Mets 4-3. The team is scoring a phenomenal amount of runs. Meanwhile, the Giants, 8-game home losing streak, and the longest since they've been in this ballpark.
Well, you're talking about the Blue Jays and that 11-game winning streak. Another base hit.
Broken bat base hit. 2 for 2 night for Pagan.
They were hitting .473, the Blue Jays. .473 with runners in scoring position in that 11-game winning streak.
It's absolutely incredible. Buster Posey, cleanup man for the Giants. Base hit to left, his first time up. 6 hits given up by Taijuan Walker. Mariners have 3 in this 1-1 game. Posey gets occasional work at first base. That horrific broken leg a few years ago in a collision at home plate. That's helped turn the game around. Interesting listening to Bruce Bochy talk about how that has improved the game too. When you watch the highlights every night, guys are sliding in. And you're not having a major 6-car pileups at home plate anymore.
Well, I've always said that if you have a lane, you would rather slide, but the way the rules used to be, the catchers didn't always give you an opportunity to get the play.
That's right.
So didn't leave you much of an option.
It seems like the guys have made the transition. They've done a good job.
No, they have. I agree. We rarely have to talk about it anymore.
Yeah. Ball and 2 strikes. Whoa, that gets past Zunino. He's got to track that one down. Be a wild pitch. It's Pagan the second.
96 miles an hour over in the other batter's box, and Mike not able to get there in time. Well off the plate.
Second wild pitch by Taijuan this season. The go-ahead runs at second.
Giants so far 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position.
He's still going out to right center field. Here's a pitch, fouled off.
Now that's 3 innings in a row for Taijuan where the Giants have been able to get a runner in scoring position. A couple of hits in the first inning, 3 hits in the second. Now this base hit and wild pitch moves Pagan along.
Two. Comebacker, knocked it down, can't find it, stays with it, holds the runner and throws out Posey. No panic, good job.
For a second there, I think he thought he had it in his glove. Tried to catch it behind his back. And right there, he thinks he has it in his glove, able to pick it up quickly. Pagan wasn't able to run because he thought he was going to catch it. So a good break for the Mariners, keeping Pagan at second.
1 out runner at second brings up Brandon Belt, the first baseman. Struck out on a 1-2 pitch in the first inning. Mariners got a first inning run and Nelson Cruz, RBI fielder's choice. Second inning, Giants got an infield hit from Milwaukee to get their run. Here's Cano. And throws out Belt. Pagan moves to third. Brings up Brandon Crawford, the shortstop. Got a base hit to right field in the second inning. He scored on that Aoki infield hit. See what the Giants have done with runners in scoring position this year. 271. Taiwan picking up where he left off in Cleveland. 1-1. First regular season game here for the Mariners at AT Park since the year 2000. We were here in 2010 for an exhibition game. Miller bobbles, hangs with it, throws him out. Nice play. Brad Miller stayed with it to throw out the Giants shortstop and keep San Francisco off the board. Came up on him, but good composure and a strong arm gets that third out. 1-1 ball game, and Taiwan loves that. It's being brought to you by Delta Dental of Washington. You're in for a lot of reasons with Delta Dental. By BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. By Greece, playing July 9th to August 2nd. Tickets at fifthavenue.org. And by Audi, truth in engineering. Temperature in the upper 50s and dropping. Here at AT Park in San Francisco. Here's Nelly Cruz. Cruz with a fielder's choice RBI. Brought home the Mariners' first run. That was in the first run. They were only running the first inning.
And you mentioned it, but it's absolutely right. It was the hustle of Cruz. Looked like it was going to be a double play ball as he hits this out to short. He was able to beat the double play, pick up that RBI.
Crawford throws him out, one away. Bring up Kyle Seager. Long at bat, then hit a hard line out to the first baseman, Brandon Belt, to end the first inning. Strike one to Kyle. 10 homers, 35 runs batted in. And if you're just joining us, James Jones been recalled from Tacoma. Danny Farquhar sent back to Tacoma. And Lloyd McClendon talking about giving Jonesy a start tomorrow. In the day game, we'll be with you on the air at 12 noon.
I like that. I think he's been playing. We're going to call him up, get him up here, give him a chance to play.
Slickly fielded by Belt. 2 away. Take a look at our Delta Airlines keep climbing standings. We focus on the West, and those Astros up by 2.5 on the Rangers. Angels by 4, Mariners by 8. There's Jonesy. Did a great job. A couple of stints with the ball club last year. I like what Lloyd said. Even though you know he's going, He's still a threat, and he was successful. What was it, 28 out of 29 last year?
Only caught one time. And we talked about it in this ballpark and in this game. We may see him later in this game. You talked about him getting a start tomorrow, but we may see him in this one late if they need to score a run, let him pinch run.
The dimension, speed, he brings it.
He does. Nice. It's nice to have on your bench.
Smith with a base hit to right back in the second inning. He's now 5 for 22 career against Hudson. A couple of guys from the Southeastern Conference. Seth out of Ole Miss. Hudson out of Auburn. Off the fist to the shortstop Crawford. He's got a heck of an arm, doesn't he? 1, 2, 3 go the Mariners. Hudson is retired now 3, 6, 7 in a row. 1-1 ball game. Against the Giants, we take a look at the Mariners calendar brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Here's what we're talking about. Tomorrow afternoon, 2 night games back home in Seattle. The Astros, another shot at them over the weekend, and then the defending American League champions, the Royals, come to town. And by the way, did you always, it was funny, I saw this comment, people were beefing about the fact that, was it 6 or 7 Kansas City Royals are leading an all-star ballot, and he said, oh, vote. Real simple.
I think what I saw today was 8.
8? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
8.
The only guy was Mike Trout.
That's right. Yeah, but wait a minute. He's a pretty good player. Matt Duffy. 1-1 count. A lot of people were complaining. Look at that. Gordon and Kane, Mustakas, Escobar, and Fonte and Hosmer.
Perez the catcher,
and they got
Morales
Salvi,
the DH.
Yeah. Well, I thought they stuffed it in 57 with Cincinnati. My goodness. Get out and vote. All you have to do is get your computer out. Omo going back. Cruz coming over. Cruz got room. Wow, that thing died. How about the wind knocking that thing down?
Well, it's not just that, but it's one of those things where I'm sure Lloyd's heart started to race because you have the mound over there down the right field line. We don't see much of that anymore. And I think that's one of the reasons why Cruz went into the slide, get his glove lower to the ground, but it also stops him from hitting the mound.
Our Big Fish Casino big catch.
Well done. And
that's
with all this wind,
area.
With all this wind, it is not easy. He slides right up onto the mound.
Boy. I got a feeling, I've heard a couple people whisper that as wonderful as this ballpark is, I forgot to put in standard issue bullpens. So that's what they come up with. Jared Parker took a called third strike first time. Bounces this one to Cano. Taijuan Walker has given up 6 hits, 1 run on 6 hits, struck out 2, has not walked anybody as he'll face his opposite number now, Tim Hudson.
Well, he needed a clean inning, so hopefully he'll be able to put Hudson away, make that happen. Again, runners in scoring position in the first 3 innings. He has held the Giants to a 1-for-8 with runners in scoring position. And again, they came into the game hitting .273 as a team, so he's made some good pitches when he's needed to. In fact, the one base hit that drove in a run was a chopper up over the mound that Taijuan wasn't able to jump high enough for. Infield hit.
He almost rebounded it.
Almost.
2-1 to Tim Hudson. Good hitter back in his days at Auburn, junior year, .396 in 65 games. 2-2. Full count. Here's the wind we were talking about. Now it's shifted, blowing out towards center. Cruz back it up on the track. Wow. 1, 2, 3. There's the clean inning. In the 4th, 1, 2, 3 go the Giants in this 1-1 game. Thank you, Angie. Bottom 3rd of the order for the Mariners as they try to end Tim Hudson's run of 7 consecutive hitters retired. Miller, Zunino, and Taijuan Walker. And that'll do it right there. Base hit for Brad Miller.
And good hitting from Brad. This be a fastball, 88 miles an hour, trying to run it to the outside corner, ends up in the middle of the plate.
That's a good looking swing for that pitch.
Well, you have to just let it travel and get a little bit deeper. The movement running away from the left-handers is the reason why Hudson gets so many ground ball outs. You end up rolling over on it. So Brad letting the ball travel and staying inside of it, hitting it hard the other way.
Here's Mike Zunino. Back safely as Miller. Miller 5 out of 6 in base stealing. Zunino reached on a error by third baseman Matt Duffy. Second. Taijuan Walker's on deck. Oh, 1 to Mike. Could use him getting on a tear. Mike Zunino with his power. 7 homers.
It's a good situation for Mike right here. Again, we talked about it with Brad letting the ball travel. There's a big hole on the right side of the infield, and he can try to take advantage of it. To do it, you have to let the ball get a little bit deeper.
Now he's got a good count.
A couple of fastballs just off the plate away, showing a good eye, some patience.
Now letting it get deep. What makes it so difficult to do that?
Well, because one, with Hudson, even though he's not an overpowering pitcher by today's standards, he'll continue to change speeds. And with the movement, you can see that last pitch up in the zone, 88 miles an hour, and the movement that he has, it makes it difficult. Hitting his timing, and unless you have confidence that you can hit his fastball, kind of almost sit in between and still hit his fastball the other way with some authority, it's difficult to do. And Hudson, you mentioned it, 39 years old, been around for a long time, has all kinds of pitches, a curveball, a slider, a split to go with it. It's difficult to do that, especially if you're anxious at all. It takes quite a bit of discipline to get to that point. Like that right there, getting out in front of the slider. 82 miles an hour, and that's after he's seen a number of fastballs anywhere from 87 to 90.
2-2 to Mike Z. Tim Hudson was the Hutch Award winner in Seattle back in the year 2010.
And I think when it really tests you, especially if you're a young hitter, is when you have the count in your favor. Don't try to do too much. There you go.
Base hit, left field. Miller play in front of him. He'll hold it second.
And that looked like the split, only 82 miles an hour. And if Mike, after check swinging on the slider, probably told himself, you got to stay back and see the ball first, and that was what gave him the ability to stay on this 82 mile an hour pitch. Again, timing. He's out in front of it just a little bit, but keeps his hands back and serves it into left field. Good piece of hitting. Set things up nicely for the Mariners. You have the pitcher coming up, Taijuan Walker, and I'm sure Lloyd's going to have him drop down a bunt right here.
Howard Johnson, a hitting coach. That's all they want right now. Get the bunt down.
If you get into these National League ballparks and you can get a couple of productive at-bats out of your pitcher, you're ahead of the game. It's quite an advantage. And we've seen Taijuan working on this.
Second time the Mariners have got the first 2 men aboard via the walk. The bunt doesn't get it down. Strike 1.
And this right here in this situation, because the Mariners haven't done it a lot with Taijuan, a pitcher, and this is something the Giants do all the time. The corners, we talked about it with Logan and Hudson, bringing the bat back and taking a swing at it. I think there's more pressure on Miller at second base to get a good jump.
Here we go. 0-1 pitch. This is outside, 1-1. Second inning, Mariners got runner on Smith with a leadoff. He was erased in a double play. First inning, they got the first 2 men aboard and wound up picking up a run.
Crawford, the shortstop, will walk in behind Miller and take off to third.
He offered and missed.
And you can see right now, because Taijuan hasn't done a lot of this, Hudson keeping the ball away from him. Taijuan should be thinking about trying to bunt it towards the third baseman. Brandon Belt, the first baseman, is right on top of him when he's trying to bunt. He'll leave that position early at first and try to crash in so they have a play at third.
Gonna try to get it down with 2 strikes. And he missed. And it's a strikeout. for Tim Hudson, his third. There's one away.
Again, a couple of breaking balls, throwing the slider towards the outside corner.
Logan Morrison 1 for 2.
Probably one of the situations in this interleague play when you go to the National League ballparks where I think the American League clubs are at a real disadvantage. The National League pitchers do this every day. They expect the American League guys who never do it. It's one thing to practice and batting practice off of somebody that's just throwing it right down the middle. It's another thing when you get in there and see it live.
There's the key word, live,
yeah.
With movement. Morrison, a first inning single and a strikeout in the third. Bounce foul.
Mariners so far in this one 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. They were able to pick up their one run on an RBI fielder's choice by Nelson Cruz in the first.
Almost trying to put the Mariners in front. Outside. One of the unique features of this ballpark. Look at that. Fans right on the field. They got a little dugout there, both sides. First base side, third base side.
Put a roof on top of that and it will look like the old bullpen at Tiger Stadium.
Yeah, right. Good call. That? Good call. 1-1. Breaking ball, base hit, right field. Parker, here's the throws. They wave Miller on, and he's in there safely. And Zunino goes to third, and the Mariners have a 2-1 lead. Logan Morrison with a base hit and an RBI. 23rd run batted in for Lomo.
He has been the hot hitter. Logan coming off of a 16-game hitting streak, couple of home runs in Houston, and he stays back on this off-speed pitch, just 76 miles an hour. Solid line drive into right. Right fielder Parker, this throw up the line a little bit, which helps Brad out as he slides in around Buster Posey, the catcher.
2-1 Mariner lead. Runners at the corners, one out for Austin Jackson, who's 1 for 2.
Parker has a strong throwing arm in right, but again, you could see right there Buster Posey having to go up the third base line, and that was enough to get Brad in the home plate.
1-0 to Austin Jackson. And he's ahead in the count, 2-0.
And good discipline. A couple of pretty good sinkers that are just below the strike zone, and that's something that Hudson will try to do. He's trying to get the ground ball right here, and Austin's making him get the ball up.
Two-0 pitch.
It's an easier pitch to get in the air. A little breaking ball at 81 miles an hour, probably mid-thigh.
339 down the line and left, 382 to gap in left center, 399 straight away. Triples alley, 421 right center. Then falls up 365 and then 309 down the line. Two-1 Austin. Hudson gets a strike on the corner, 2-2. Mariners have the lead and trying to build on it here. Zunino at third, Morrison at first. Two-two. Breaking ball popped up. Second base, he missed it. They get the force. Here's the play home. Zunino scores, and the Mariners have a 3-1 lead. Thought for sure the outfielder would try to make the play on that.
He should have. Much easier play for the right fielder right there. And it seemed that he made up his mind right away that he was going to let the second baseman panic catch it. But again, the wind is swirling. He is out in right center field in pretty good shape. And you can see the right fielder. He was going to be there in plenty of time. A much easier play for him. So a break for the Mariners. Even though they're able to get the force out at second base, Zunino was about halfway down the line. No chance for him to tag up. And when the ball hits the outfield grass, he's able to come around and score.
Fielder's choice, 4-6. And an RBI for Austin Jackson. 3-1 lead for the Mariners. I was stunned that Panic was insistent on trying to make that play.
I don't think he was that insistent on it. I think he was waiting for some help.
Man, I mean, he kept going and going, and I'm looking at both fielders coming in. Somebody's got to catch that, right?
Parker, I would have thought, would have called him off. Again, you could see in the replay that he was almost standing there watching. I didn't see him calling the ball. And Panic with his back to the infield running back, he's going to go to try to catch it until the outfielder calls him off. Once the outfielder calls him off, it's his job to get out of the way.
Cano swinging a miss. Third career game for the youngster Parker out in right field. An RBI for Austin Jackson, his 10th. What a break for the Mariners.
Well, we were talking about it earlier. Bruce Bochy and this club struggling and not playing clean baseball. There's an example of it.
4 consecutive losses, 8 consecutive losses here at home. 0-1, make that 1-1 to Cano. Giants have not been scoring a lot of runs here at home. 2.97 runs per game here at home this season. 16 and 17 here by the Bay.
6.24 runs per game. Fewest in the major leagues this year.
That's for the whole season. Cano hits it hard, base hit, right field. Jackson holds at second, sets it up for Cruz.
We were talking about it earlier with Robinson trying to get him going. He has had 3 really good at bats tonight. Hit the ball deep to center field his first time up, lined out to the left fielder, and now he's finally able to get the base hit on a fastball middle in, turned on it, was able to find the hole on the right side. So he's hit the ball hard 3 times tonight.
Let's go back to the conversation you and I were having. Well, actually, I was sitting there listening to you and Lloyd talking. It was very educational about the timing mechanism of getting his foot down, as opposed to he had added to what he had been doing for a lot of years, and
right.
It really compounded things for him.
Well, it did, and the reason why is because you'll hear me talking about it from time to time, but get your foot down on time, and his foot was not getting down on time, and that's the reason why they were jamming him on fastballs inside, which he would normally handle, and what we saw from him all year last year, and even having the ability to stay inside pitches the other way. But all of a sudden, and you'll take a look at the stride by Cano, and his foot down on time. Not much of a stride or anything, but he had this thing where he was turning in and then trying to pick his foot up.
Right.
And by the time he was picking his foot up, the ball was on him. So that's the adjustment he's been trying to make really for only the last week or so.
Outside to Cruz, and Floyd McClendon told us he was watching video last Sunday, and it was one of those eureka moments. I got it. There it is.
Well, and it's because so many times you're looking at their hand position, what their stride is looking like, and starting from the ground up, you might find something, and that's when Lloyd was able to find it. And they went back and looked at his film from last year, and he didn't have that little extra move you were talking about.
Right, and it's the success he had in New York too.
Right, and so they're hoping that is something to get him moving in the right direction. And again tonight, 3 really good at bats for him, even though he's 1 for 3. He's hit the ball hard all 3 times.
2-0 to Cruz. 24 pitches this inning for Hudson. 21 in the first 2 for him. 2-0 pitch to Cruz. Crowded him and gets an inside strike.
And it's no secret to this club, especially with the struggles they've had offensively, they have to have him hitting. So it would be great. And you read the numbers too a few days ago. It typically is a better hitter in the second half.
2-1 to Nelly Cruz. Couple of men aboard. Mariners lead 3-1. Pitch. Fishing 2-2.
A pretty good slider off the outside corner. Pettit getting loose.
Base runners, you get Jackson and Cano. 2 outs and a 2-2 count to Nelson Cruz. He's 0 for 2 with an RBI. Listen to these Giant fans groan.
Well, James Hoy, the home plate umpire, I think he's been very fair today, and he has not given Hudson too many pitches off the plate. And I think it's gone both ways.
Just the second 3-ball count in the ball game. Kyle Seager awaits. 3-2 to Cruz. Bouncing ball to Duffy. And he throws over the Mariners. Get a couple of runs on 1, 2, 4 hits. No errors and leave 2. 3-1 Seattle. Thank you, Angie. Top of the order for the Giants. Aoki, Panic, and Pagan. 3-1 lead for Taijuan Walker. Taijuan struck out 3, hasn't walked anybody. Gave up an infield RBI single to Aoki in the second. Two-one. Taking a look, he's got a play. 1 out. Nice job by Mike to throw the mask well out of the way so nobody will fall over it, especially him. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners.
I think that's a good point, Dave, because we see it a lot where the catchers, they'll almost just drop it next to him. And Mike did a really good job of finding where the ball was once he felt he was underneath it, throwing the mask far away from him so he didn't stumble on it.
We've both seen that happen too. It's not pretty.
No.
And keeps in it bat alive as Miller gets a nice hop. Throws out panic, 2 down. It's 8 consecutive hitters retired by Taijuan Walker. It's fun watching him grow right in front of us. I mean, the great spring, it was spring training. I get it. Slow start of the season. Had some issues there, and it's working his way back quite nicely.
No, you're right. And one of the things that was concerning, 3-4 games ago, was to look at his numbers with men on base. They were hitting over 400 against him. And you mentioned in his last outing against the Indians, a good club. Runners in scoring position, he held them 0 for 10. And tonight, so far, he's held the Giants to a 1 for 8. So that's a big improvement for him.
Angel Pagan, couple of singles to left.
Very rare breaking balls that he's thrown. Nice curveball in there at 75 miles an hour. Typically in this game, he's been all fastball changeup.
4th 0-2 count produced by Taijuan Walker. Pitch. And low. Giants' struggles have reached a point where they have trailed the last 37 innings here in their home ballpark.
The other thing I like too is you mentioned it right there with the Giants struggling. Don't give them a chance. Taijuan's immediately right back on the mound, ready to go.
Good fastball, struck him out. Strikeout number 4. Retires the side in order. 9 consecutive retired. The Mariners have a 3-1 lead. Sports is brought to you by Reardon Maserati of Kirkland. Eastside Service, the absolute opposite of ordinary. By Vern Funk, bad luck can hit anyone. Insure with the 13th man. By Rockwood Fired Kitchen, Pizza, Burgers, and Spirits. And by Volkswagen. Hurry in and get a deal during the Volkswagen Stop Dreaming, Start Driving event. Kyle Seager leads it off for the Mariners here in the 6th. Seager, Smith, and Miller. 3-1 Mariner lead. They get RBIs in the 5th inning by Morrison and Jackson. Cruz knocked in a run in the 1st. Through the whole base hit. Kyle Seager gets it started in the 6th. 1 for 3 night for Kyle.
Kyle gets a good fastball right in the middle of the plate. Hits it hard through the right side of the infield. That fastball elevated a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last inning for Hudson. On the year, He's only been able to get to 100 pitches twice, and he was right at 100. 39 years old, been around for a while. They're going to take care of him, and with that base hit, going to get some action out in the pen.
Howard Johnson liking what he sees in that base hit from Seager. Mero Petit warming up for the second time. Here's Seth Smith, 1 for 2. Way inside, ball 1. Posey digs it out. Holding it first is Seager. And a 2-0 count to Seth Smith. Good crowd on hand at AT&T. Good count here for Seth Smith. Two and one. Giants averaging 41.5 per ball game. Second only to the Dodgers. They average 46,033 in their home games. Two of the 3 top averages in the industry. 2-1. Brad Miller on deck. He's really trying to crowd Seth.
He's trying to, which is a bit surprising because Seth really likes the fastball close to him. We've seen him through the years, and even this year, he likes to pull the ball. Why they have the shift on.
3-1 count. Seager at first. He's back with a dive. So Hudson, first pitch strikes 5 of the first 9 hitters that he faced. Since then, just 4 of the last 15. See what gives here. 3-1 pitch. Bounced it foul. Goes back to your point. He's not giving in. You're not getting a fastball in traditional fastball counts.
You see just 85 miles an hour on that last pitch. Sink it a little bit more and get it away from Seth.
Mariners have 3 runs on 8 hits. They've left 4. The Giants are run on 6 hits. They've committed an error and left 5 men aboard. Good pitch here. Seager runs, pitch, and it's taken for ball 4. First 2 men have reached again for the Mariners. The first walk of the ball game. Follow the Mariners wherever you are with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bats up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet. The Boats is going to come out and get his 39-year-old right-hander. And Yusmeiro Petit will take over. Mariners lead at 3-1 with 2 on here in the 6th. All right, Angie, here we go. 3-1. Mariners top of the 6th, 2 on, and nobody out. Yusmeiro Petit takes over. 30-year-old right-hander from Maracaibo, Venezuela.
For Petit, his 19th appearance on the year, 1-1 record, 3.5 ERA, 25 strikeouts, just 7 walks in 36 innings. Opponent's hitting .226. He's given up 5 home runs this year.
Strike to Brad. Bounced into a double play, singled and scored.
And a lot of times in these situations, we probably see Brad bunt, but you have Zunino waiting on deck, and then the pitcher after that. So Lloyd McClendon going to let him hit, and that's typical in a National League ballpark.
Two balls, 1 strike. Two on, nobody out, and boy, that hit him in the head. It didn't. It was awfully close.
And it would have been a close play too.
Boy.
Maybe in the hand.
Yeah.
See how close that was. If Crawford, the shortstop, would have been able to hang on to it.
Brad's got a 2-1 count. 3-1. Mike Zunino on deck, 1 for 2 with a run scored. Mariner RBIs tonight: Cruz, Morrison, and Jackson. Aoki drove in the Giants run for Bruce Bochy's ball club. 3-1 the count. Strike 2. It's his 3rd year with the Giants. He's previously been with Arizona for 3 years and Florida for a season. Broke into pro ball back in 02. 3-2 pitch. Fouled off, no play. Hudson a little upset with himself, and probably, no doubt, did not want to come out of the ball game tonight.
5+ innings, 8 hits, 3 runs. All of them earned a walk, 3 strikeouts, 87 pitches, 55 of those for strikes, and he's responsible for the 2 base runners.
3-2 to Brad. He takes strike 3 called, and there's 1 out. Fire still burning in Tim Hudson at 39 years old. Wasn't in the mood for any attaboys.
No. Let's see if Mike Zunino can add to his night. 1 for 2 so far. Had a base hit in the left field his last time up.
He tried. Strike 1. Strike 2. Two on for Mike. Gotta go to work here with 2 strikes. Taijuan Walker, the pitcher, on deck. 1 out. Strikeout. Ball gets away. Runners move up. A strikeout, wild pitch.
Gets him on the curveball. See it skip right off the top of home plate and gets away from Buster Posey.
Taijuan Walker was free swinging Friday in batting practice in Houston. See if he can run into him. Struck out twice so far.
His last time out. His last time up. He was a strikeout victim on trying to bunt. Wasn't able to get a bunt down.
1. Piece of it, 0-2. Eric Johnson keeping his fingers crossed that maybe the pitcher will get lucky here. Oh, 2 to Taijuan. Runners at second and third. Blocked by Posey. Smero Petit on in relief of Tim Hudson here in the 6th. Here we go, 1 and 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Making this very interesting.
After a couple of fastballs that were up in the zone, and Taijuan was a little bit closer to that second one as he fouled it straight back. It's been 2 curveballs in the dirt. Maybe throw another one, see if he can get away from Buster Posey. Give Kyle Seager, the runner at third, a chance to score.
Here we go, 2 and 2. Keep Logan Morrison alive in that on deck circle. You let it travel enough?
Well, I don't think Logan thinks so. He just pointed back out towards the field of play. Hit it over there somewhere.
Dude, seriously? 2-2 pitch. And Petit takes care of it. And that'll do it for the Mariners. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left. Bottom 6 coming up, 3-1 Mariner lead. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Money Tree. Proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. By Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today. Only at Jack in the Box. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Shot earlier this evening. Beautiful sight here. AT&T Ballpark. 3-1 lead for the Mariners. And a Columbia Bank difference in the ball game. Let's focus in on starter Taijuan Walker.
He has really pitched well. Good location with his fastball. Has been able to use his changeup. There's another good changeup, effectively to the left-handed hitters. It's been a go-to pitch for him. He's only mixed in his curveball a couple of times, and has done an excellent job of pitching out of trouble. So far, the Giants just 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position.
Buster Posey leads off, fouls one away. He's 1 for 2. Taijuan has struck out 4, retired the last 9 that he's faced. Going to be Posey, Brandon Belt, and Brandon Crawford, 4, 5, and 6 for the Giants. Off the fist, going back is Cano. And there's 1 away.
A great example of what fastball command can do for you. A couple of pitches on the outside corner, and that last pitch in off the plate. He's able to jam Posey with it. 0-2. He's not trying to throw that pitch for a strike. He wants to get it in on his hands, and he was able to do it. Rick Waits, I'm sure, thrilled with what he's seeing so far.
Taijuan pitching into the 6th. Brandon Belt strikeout and a ground out to Cano. Last time out, Walker pitched 6 innings of 8 hit 1-run ball. Prior to that, against the Yankees, went 8 innings. Went 8 innings against Cleveland. He's racking up some innings these last 3 outings, and now 3+ outings. 1-1. First base coach Bill Hayes, Roberto Kelly coaching at third. It's one of the things I like, that he has heard the message. Again, work inside, move guys off the plate. He had a strike, full count.
Just missed the inside corner.
Brandon Crawford on deck. Good heater. 5 strikeouts. 2 down here in the 6th, and he's retired in the last 11 that he's faced.
We'll take a look at this last fastball, 93 miles an hour, but he's able to elevate it just enough. Oh, by Brandon Belt, first baseman. Want to be late on this fastball. And I think that was the changeup that he'd thrown him earlier in that bat, putting that in the back of his mind.
There's Crawford, base hit to right and a ground out to short. Rare curveball.
Good pitch. You get either call. You can see them both right there.
Into the corner, extra bases. Crawford can run. Cruz gets it back in. Stand up double, 2 outs in the 6th. Crawford's 14th double. Ends a run of 11 consecutive hitters retired by Taijuan Walker.
It's one of those situations. We talk about it all the time, and the difference between making quality pitches and not getting them gets you into hitters counts 2-0, and you can see that fastball. Didn't want to walk him with a 2-run lead, so he throws him a fastball in the middle of the plate. As Crawford busted out of the box, and once it gets down to the corner, he realizes it's going to be an easy double for him. And he would not be as aggressive on that fastball. 0-2, 1-1.
Just the 4th extra base hit in the last 34 innings here at home for the Giants. Here's Duffy. Fouls one off. Matt tonight. Single to right, fly out to right. Giants on an 8-game home losing streak, and overall they've lost their last 4. 1 in New York and then 3 here at home to Arizona. One to Duffy. Down the line, that will slice and get fouled by a matter of inches. 1-2.
This is a changeup, and it slices just enough to go foul.
Giants again playing without Hunter Pence. Real generator on their offensive ball club. Got a wrist injury. Got some throwing before the game, trying to work his way back. Taiwan's got Duffy 1-2 pitch. Dribbler to Kyle Seager. Closing out. And the Giant threat dies in the 6th. Taiwan and the Mariners lead it 3-1. There we go, Angie. Thank you. 3-1 Mariner lead. Top 7. Here's Logan Morrison to lead things off. Top of the order for the Mariners. It'll be Morrison, Jackson, and Cano. Lomos had a good night. 2 for 3. A run scored, an RBI. Mero Petit. On in relief of starter Tim Hudson, who went 5+. Gave up 8 hits and 3 runs. Giants playing Morrison straight away. Pitch. Crawford, nice play. Gets up one. Nice play all around. Well done. Robs Logan Morrison of a base hit.
I saw his arm earlier in the ball game, and Logan Morrison can get down the line. But you see the diving grab comes up and a strong throw across the diamond. Throws him out by a step.
Boy, accurate throw, right on the money. Here's Austin Jackson. He's got a hit and an RBI tonight. Crawford again. There's a strong arm again. Big time. 2 down. Oh, man. Some good stuff. Let's take a look at our T-Mobile game changer.
The Mariners needed some runs, and it's Logan Morrison. He's been a hot hitter for them. Comes up with a base hit to drive in Brad Miller. That gives the Mariners the lead. And then Austin Jackson, this little pop-up. Communication problem. Panic, the second baseman, not able to come up with it, as Zunino will score.
Here's Cano, 1 for 3. Hit the ball hard 3 times. Jeremy Affeldt starting to warm up. Cano with a base hit to right his last time up. Boy, Affeldt was terrific in postseason and specifically the World Series last year. They are on a terrific run. 3 World Series, 5 years. Moved here from New York in 1958. Played in the '62 World Series. An old-timer still wish that line drive by McCovey had gotten a little bit higher and beyond the reach of Bobby Richardson in Game 7 with the bases loaded. Yankees won that one. 1-2 to Cano.
Robbie 1 for 3 tonight. He's hit the ball hard all 3 times.
He's getting that foot down.
He's flown out to deep center field, lined out to left, and had a base hit to right.
We were talking between innings one time, and he's going right. It's so pretty to watch. Get the great hands.
Great hands and using the entire field. Lopez. Going Affeldt. They want to shut Affeldt down.
1-2 to Robbie. Outside for ball 2. If we can keep it going, Nelson Cruz is on deck. Two and 2. 2 out, nobody on. Good count. How about a splash down here? McCovey Cove action. Cano's last homer. He only has 2. It was on the 30th of last month. Three-2 pitch. Line drive right at the shortstop Crawford. He was the star of the Mariners' 7th inning. That play was easy, but the 2 ground balls were outstanding. Mariners lead it 3-1. stretching your body? How about stretching your mind as you consider how Washington's lottery win would change your bucket list? Play today. Beautiful night for baseball here in San Francisco. 42,099 here at AT&T. The 361st sellout. And the Mariners in the first of two. And a lot of history in this franchise. In fact, Willie McCovey's statue is out in the cove beyond right field. Hopefully tomorrow with a day game, get a chance to see Stretch, see number 44. He could hit him. Hall of Famer, 521 home runs. And there he is. Great Willie McCovey. I believe like he and Henry Aaron and Willie Mays from Alabama. Cleon Jones, Tommy Agee, their generation. Just a lot of spectacular African-American baseball players from that state. Bouncing ball, easy play, Lomo. Parker's retired. So we're going to get a pinch hitter here. Casey McGee, veteran third baseman. We've seen him. Mark Lowe starts to heat up. He has just been wonderful out of the pen for the Mariners.
Taiwan right now at 91 pitches. Good to see. It's been really efficient in this one.
Yeah.
The season high is 108. Threw 92 pitches in his last outing against Cleveland.
McGee's been with Milwaukee and the Yankees. He's been over to Japan and back. Saw him in Florida last year when we were down there. Remember talking to him during batting practice about Giancarlo Stanton. And he goes, I can hit him. He said, but what this guy does is stupid. He was talking about Stanton just launch mode almost every night.
He just dialed up the outside corner on him. That's not much fun when you're coming off the bench and pitchers out there throwing 93 to 95 miles an hour and painting the outside corner on you. You can see 94 pitches now, 64 strikes.
2. Got him.
Changeup.
Well, that's been a really good pitch. Taijuan Walker with half dozen strikeouts now. Quick 2 outs in the 7th. Wednesday and Thursday, the Mariners take on these defending world champion San Francisco Giants. Interleague baseball coming to Safeco Field. Don't forget, Wednesday, Felix Hernandez takes on World Series MVP Madison Bumgarner. So get your tickets. Get them at mariners.com. Top of the order, Nori Aoki. Drove in the Giants' only run. Infield hit in the second inning, 1 for 3. One to 1 to count. Ball pulled to Morrison. Covering is Taijuan Walker. Stellar performance. 7 innings. Strong 7 innings. Taijuan Walker. Mariners have a 3-1 lead. All right, Angie, welcome back, everybody, to AT&T Park. 35-year-old left-hander Jeremy Affeldt takes over.
His 29th appearance on the year, 4.74 ERA, 9 strikeouts, 9 walks over the 19 innings. Bullets need 3.08 against him, giving up 3 home runs.
Been on all 3 Giant championship teams. Began his big league career with Kansas City back in 2002, then went to Colorado, Cincinnati. He's been with the Giants since 2009. Cruz hits it hard, but foul.
Man, just shaking off the bricks out there. Hunter Strickland getting loose, hard throwing right-hander.
This ball reminiscent of the ball Trumbo hit in Cleveland. Trumbo's ball is a little bit lower, but both of them really hit hard.
He almost had it.
Staying with it is Panic. And there's one out. Let's go back to the last out of the 7th inning and take a look at Logan Morrison.
Kind of a tough read for Logan. You have Aoki, the leadoff hitter. He can run. Decided, I better go get it. Wasn't sure if Cano was going to get there. And then Taijuan Walker covering as he's supposed to. But Aoki can get down the line. And you see Taijuan, big man, can really run. It's not easy to run full speed like that and make the adjustment, touch the base. But you like to see him doing his job and not taking anything for granted. When Logan hesitated a little bit, a lot of times a pitcher will hesitate with him and not go all the way, thinking the second baseman's going to field the ground ball. But he stayed with the play.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Here's Kyle Seager. 1 for 3.
Giants have the shift on with Kyle hitting.
Mark Lowe continues to heat up for the Mariners. $42,099, 361st consecutive regular season sellout here at AT&T Park. Two and one. That's it well. Deep right field. Kyle Seager. It's gone. His 11th home run, 36th RBI. The Mariner lead is now 4-1.
I'm looking forward to seeing what the tape measure is on that one. That was down in that corner, the triple corner you were talking about earlier, Dave, where it's 421 feet. And he gets a fastball in the middle of the plate and didn't miss any of it. That is an impressive home run. We'll take another look at the swing. This fastball is right down the middle. Kyle jumped all over it. Boy.
Ball thrown back onto the playing field.
That was well back into the stands.
Yes, it was. That might have a little splashdown.
Well, they were hoping it was going into the cove.
Good ride.
A couple rows.
Seth Smith. Smitty 1 for 2 with a walk. The Mariner RBIs tonight: Cruz, Morrison, Jackson, Seager. Oh, that felt good. Let's pick me up from the dugout.
He hit that so well, he probably didn't feel it at all.
Home run number 11, RBI number 36. Two and two. Seth Smith 5 for 18 with a homer against Affeldt. Mark Lowe's going to come on in the 8th. Blomquist listening to how good it felt or didn't feel. 3-2. Strike 3 called. 2 down. Looking for a fun way to spend Father's Day. Join us at Safeco Field this Sunday. Mariners meet the Astros. First 10,000 dads get a Mike Zunino barbecue apron. It's courtesy of EQC. For tickets, visit mariners.com. Here's Mike Zunino. Kyle Seager with that home run, his second in his last 17 games. There's Brad Miller. Big bender for a strike. The Boston Red Sox continue to struggle, losing 4-2 at home to Atlanta tonight. Toronto's 11-game winning streak is over. 4-3 loss to the Mets. Houston knocked off Colorado 6-3. Texas beat the Dodgers 4-1.
Good night for Taiwan.
Yeah, I'll say.
98 pitches to get through 7 innings.
Inside to Brett. Angels trail at home to Arizona 5-1. Bottom 8. Oakland at San Diego leads 4-1. Bottom 7 with Dave Robertson on manager. It's Taiwan's work for tonight. Really good. Mike Montgomery, he's turned in some good performances for the Mariners. 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Brad. He's 1 for 3. 5th inning single, run scored. Took a called 3rd strike in the 6th. Long discussion with James Hoy, the home plate umpire. Two. 3 called. Second 10 is caught looking. Highlight of the inning, Kyle Seager. Is the 11th home run, and the Mariner lead is 4-1 here in San Francisco. sounds good. Glad to hear so many people are involved as Mark Lowe takes over.
For Mark on the year, his 18th appearance. Really pitched well. 0.96 ERA, 19 strikeouts and 18 2/3. Opponents hitting .224 against him. His fastball, it will be in the mid-90s with a hard slider.
Mark pitched 1 inning yesterday, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. There's a panic he's done tonight. Dustin Ackley's taken over in left field. This is a drive deep to right. Cruz going back. Got a beat on it on the track, and he makes the play.
Well done. Tough play in this ballpark with the way the wind has been blowing tonight. Take a look at the swing by Panic on a fastball. Cruz going back, never takes his eye off of it, which I think is the key. Most of the time you'll run back to a spot where you think the ball is going to come down, but here you have to watch what the wind is doing. It will fool you. Good play by Cruz.
We see the effect of the wind went over in Oakland, but it's more prevalent here. The wind, you see the flags blowing right to left. They're blowing straight out to right center.
And this is a lot more open to the outfield in Oakland. They have that big building out there that blocks everything.
Mount Davis.
Yeah. Hunter Strickland getting loose again in the Giants bullpen. But not having a good night. 2 for 3.
Yeah, a couple singles to left. Didn't cover it out there in center field. Yeah, who's impressed defensively in this ballgame is the shortstop Crawford. Man, he's been good. There's Hunter Strickland.
Charlie Furbush pacing himself out in the Mariners bullpen.
Pagan having a good night. First multi-hit game since May 28. That's a strike. 1 and 2.
There's Charlie, ready to go. Posey, the right-hander, on deck, and then it's Brandon Belt, Crawford, a couple of lefties after that.
Strike 3 call. Mark Lowe. Dandy pitch. 2 down.
Another off-speed pitch right off the outside corner. That looks like his changeup. Well done.
Posey 1 for 3. Mariners got on the board in the first inning. A fielder's choice RBI by Nelson Cruz. Giants tied at bottom 2. Aoki an infield RBI. And then 2 runs in the 5th for the Mariners. RBIs by Morrison and Jackson. And then Kyle Seager, an 8th inning solo blast.
Good movement on his fastball. 2-seamer. Well in off the plate. You see on our EQC tracer how far inside that was to Posey. Just tied him up with it.
And a good night for Rick Waits watching Taijuan Walker. Now Mark Lowe. Whoa, good pitch. Mark Lowe, 1, 2, 3 in the 8th. Mariners have a 4-1 lead. Beat that deadline, people. Thank you, Angie. Hunter Strickland, new pitcher for the Giants. This guy can bring it. Out of Thomaston, Georgia. 6'4", 220. Z behind 0-2. Zunino with a base hit back in the 5th. 1 for 3 now.
Strickland, his 11th appearance, 2.53 ERA, 13 strikeouts, 10 2/3, only 1 walk. Good numbers for him.
Outside to Mike. Strickland was in 4 World Series games last year. 6.75 ERA. Outside. 4 games, 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs. Gave up 2 home runs. Gave up a home run in the championship series to the Cardinals, and 3 in the division series against Washington. 2-2.
Belt walk out in that area. Looks like Charlie Furbush is going to pitch in the 9th inning. Charlie heading back to the bullpen. A couple of lefties due up for the Giants to start the 9th. It'll be Belt and Crawford. So Charlie heading back to the pen.
So it's Charlie heading down to the pen. Coming up tomorrow, CenturyLink What's Next. Starters, Jay Happ against Tim Lincecum, 2-time National League Cy Young Award winner.
James Jones just called up today. He's going to get a chance to pinch hit.
Didn't recognize him because he didn't have his pants up around his just below the knee like last year. Remember that?
Yeah.
Hit 264 down at Tacoma. Games hit 250, 27 out of 28 base stealing. Get his hands back up high again. Here's the roster move that was made.
Good to have that speed back up here.
Ooh, nicely.
Carson Smith has just joined Charlie out in the pen.
Best percentage in base stealing in Major League history. Minimum of 10 attempts, 27 out of 28.
I don't know if it's because he's wearing the longer pants now, but he looks to me as if he's put on a little bit of weight.
Yeah, he's V'd out.
Yeah.
Filled out and V'd out. One and two.
Good swing at that fastball. Trying to protect the plate just off the outside corner.
Strickland picked up April of 2013 off the waiver wire from Pittsburgh. One out, nobody on. 1-2 pitch. Two balls, 2 strikes. As we've seen back home on many occasions, Mike, on a night like this, the Seagulls, they want the ballpark back. They're starting to swarm. Down the beverage bottle in left center field. 2-2. Stepping out as Posey holds on to the foul tip. 2 away. We're bringing James Jones back to the fold here with the big club. Lloyd McClendon. Here are his words about adding some speed to this ball club.
Well, I think it brings a lot of versatility to the ball club. He can play all 3 outfield positions. You know, he can give Jackson a rest against a real tough righty in center field. Speed on both sides of the ball, particularly stealing bases late in the ball game, give us a spark. So he brings a lot of excitement to the club. So I think he's a nice addition for us.
There you have it. So we'll look for Jonesy in the starting lineup tomorrow. Great to have him back. Good kids we've met over the years in the organization. 1-0 to Lomo. Morrison's had a good day. 2 base hits to right, drove in a run. Got robbed by shortstop Brandon Crawford. One pitch.
Talking about Strickland and the good fastball as you look at Carson Smith, Charlie Furbush in the pen for the Mariners. Pretty good changeup.
Yeah.
The left-handers in the center.
I don't remember him featuring that during the postseason last.
No, I saw his outings, and you were reading his numbers. He threw a lot of fastballs. He had a good one too. I think he hit 100 miles an hour a few times.
Bunch, yeah. One and two. Mariners with a run in the first, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 8th. They're going to get through it. Does. 3-hit night for Lomo. Comes with 2 outs here in the 9th. Lomo coming in as the leadoff man. And like his on-base percentage, he's added to it tonight. It was at .323 coming into tonight's game, and he's been on base 3 times.
He's really been swinging the bat well for a better part of a month now. His average continues to climb with that base hit. He's up over 261 now. He had some at-bats under his belt, and he was right around that 180, 190 area, so that's doing some work.
Fourth 3-hit game of the season for Logan Morrison. Two outs here in the 9th inning. Giants in the bottom of the 9th will have 5, 6, and 7 coming up. Belt, Crawford, and Duffy. Two 2-0. Jackson got an RBI and a single tonight. Jay Happ against Tim Lincecum Tuesday. Wednesday, Felix against Madison Bumgarner. Thursday, Mike Montgomery against Ryan Vogelsong. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday ball games. 4-game get together with the world champion Giants. There's Felix. Looking forward to that matchup with Bumgarner. Almost back. There's Bumgarner. Well, he was sensational, and then some. The postseason and in the World Series. As Lomo takes off, throw by Posey, not in time. Stolen base for Logan Morrison, his third of the season.
Pretty good jump for Logan. Talked about the big man having good speed. Able to pick up a stolen base. Posey, little short hop right there was probably the difference. Panik had to raise his glove to pick the ball, and by the time he was able to put it back down, Logan was in there for his third stolen base. Take a look at our Alaska Supermo and the pick. And this foot is clearly in there, I think, before the tag.
Three and two here to Jackson. Runner in scoring position, 2 down. And he delivers. Lomo coming around third. He'll score easily. 5-1 Mariners. Have a night, Austin Jackson. 2 singles, 2 RBIs.
And what a big stolen base by Logan. Get himself into scoring position. .95-mile-an-hour fastball, and he hits it on the button. Screaming line drive back up the middle. Nice short swing.
Like to see more of that. There's Robinson Cano.
He's hit the ball hard all 4 times
Yes, sir.
tonight.
I like putting down that HH.
Yeah, well, he's 1 for 4, but he was really hit the ball hard. Lined out to the shortstop his last time up.
11th hit for the Mariners. 5 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Get down, get down. It does. Base hit. Going to third is Jackson. He will get there safely. Robinson Cano, a 2-hit night. And the Mariners continue this 9th inning with runners at the corners and 2 outs.
Amazing game. This one more towards the end of the bat. Talking about how he's hit the ball hard 4 times as he dumps that one into left field to pick up a hit. He certainly earned it. Hit the ball hard tonight.
Two outs, runners at the corners. A run in. Here's Cruz. A lot of people digging for car keys. They have made the turn for home, leaving AT Park. Wind blowing out towards left. The Seagulls making their way to this ballpark. A short way, that'll do it. Mariners get a run. It comes with 2 outs. A run on 3 hits and leave 2. A 5-1 lead. Charlie Furbush coming in to close it down. Post game presented by Delta Airlines. Jed Mueller's going to be in the clubhouse interviewing players. Lloyd McClendon will have his news conference, and we'll talk about Tuesday's pitching matchup. Kyle Seager with a home run tonight. 2-hit night. Logan Morrison, 3-hit night for him. Robinson Cano, couple of hits, and Charlie Furbush takes over on the mound.
For Charlie, his 27th appearance on the year, a 2.12 ERA for Charlie. 17 innings, 10 strikeouts. Opponents hitting just 133. Get a couple of left-handers in Belton Crawford. With Carson Smith ready to go in the pen.
James Jones takes over for Cruz in right field. Charlie Furbush in 4-hole in the batting order. So we look at Brendan Belt. Going back is Jackson, calling off Ackley, 1 out. The Mariner outfield right now is Ackley in left, Jackson in center, and Jones in right. There's Brendan Crawford, 2 for 3. Single run scored, a ground out, and a double. First time the Mariners have played a regular season game here since 2000. Popped up and back this way behind home plate. Giant fans with their rally caps on. 1-1 count here to Brandon Crawford. 1 out in the ninth. 5-1 Mariner lead. Doing 1 from Furbush. Good to see the Mariners ring up 12 hits. 5 runs on 12 hits. They did leave 8. Out on 7 hits and an error from the Giants. Wait a miss. 2-2. Oakland a 9-1 lead at San Diego. Still playing the bottom of the 8th inning. What happened now?
I don't know. Kevin Payne, the third base umpire, called timeout. Wanted to speak to James Hoy. Here's everything is okay. I think Charlie went to his mount when he was stepping on the mound, and you have to get permission from the home plate umpire. I think he wanted to make sure that that was the case. Seems like Charlie's fine, no problem.
2-2 pitch. Count runs full. On deck, Matt Duffy. Three and 2. Right to Cano. And there's 2 away.
And with the 4-run lead, it appears that Lloyd's going to leave Charlie out there. Right-handed hitter due up. Right-handed hitter has come out on deck. Justin Maxwell has come out on deck.
2 outs, nobody on. Mariners up 5-1, bottom 9 here in San Francisco. And strike 1 to Duffy, who's 1 for 3. Missed outside.
The other part of it too with Lloyd is guys are going to bounce back with an early game tomorrow, and if he doesn't have to use Carson, I think you just assume do that and make him available for tomorrow's game.
1-1 to Duffy. Quick 2. Good offensive productivity by the Mariners this evening. They bang out 12 hits, score 5 times against world champion Giants. 1-2, Furbush to Duffy. Foul off. Bottom of the ninth, Arizona 7-3 over the Angels. Here we go, 1-2. Furbush ready. And a pitch. Down and in. And off the glove of Zunino. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Charlie's been able to get a couple of strikes on the inside corner that Duffy has taken. Tried to go back there again, but a little bit too far. Look at our EQC tracing the location of that last pitch. Just a little bit too far inside.
Charlie ready. Do it again. Here we go. 2-2. Swing and he missed. Got him. And the Mariners win the ball game 5-1. They defeat the world champion Giants in the first of 4 consecutive games, as the Giants lose for the 9th consecutive time here at home, their longest streak since losing 11 at the Polo Grounds back in 1940. Great win, offense, pitching, got a little everything for the Mariners.
Yeah, it's a good win for the guys that feel good about. Taijuan Walker was outstanding tonight. 7 innings, just the 1 earned run. He didn't walk a batter and had 6 strikeouts. He threw 98 pitches. But a lot of good stuff offensively. Logan Morrison in the leadoff spot with 3 hits, scored a couple of runs. Robinson Cano, a 2-hit night. Austin Jackson, a couple of hits. Kyle Seager with his 11th home run on the year.
A lot of good stuff here as the Mariners go to 4-3 on this road trip and come back tomorrow. We'll be on the air at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Right now, Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines starts right now with